All right, listen up. You want to crack the code of options trading. You're probably staring at this market. It's buzzing with potential, right? But those contracts, they look like hieroglyphics. We've been there. At advancedautotrades.com, we get it. So today, forget all the noise. We're going to laser focus on the 5 core pieces, the absolute essentials of every single option contract. Miss these, and you're basically trading blindfolded. Stick with us, and you'll see exactly what makes these things tick. Let's, get started on breaking down these building blocks. Really important for you folks just starting out.
Exactly. Think of it like the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. The absolute must-knows before you even think about placing a trade.
Right. We're not jumping into complex strategies today. None of that.
Yeah.
It's purely about getting these core components down. Because without a solid grip on these 5 things, anything else you learn is kind of like building on shaky ground.
Building a skyscraper on sand.
Precisely. So our goal today is just to give you that solid base.
Okay, cool. So first up, the absolute first thing you got to wrap your head around is, what's the contract even about? What's the thing giving it value?
That's the underlying stock. Or sometimes another asset, but usually stock for beginners.
Right, the underlying.
Think of the option contract as like a side agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And that agreement is always tied to something specific. Usually that's the underlying stock. So the first thing you'll see is that ticker symbol.
Yeah, tickers you probably know. You might see XYZ for some company, or Apple, right? AAPL.
Or Chipotle, CMG, even ETFs sometimes.
Oh, yeah, like SPY for the S&P 500. That's a big one.
Exactly. So it's the stock of a specific company, or maybe a basket of them like an ETF, that the whole contract revolves around.
And the key thing to remember is the option gives you rights related to buying or selling that specific stock.
That's crucial. Owning the option doesn't mean you own the stock right away. Not necessarily. It gives you the choice, really, to potentially buy or sell that underlying stock, which has to happen at a certain price and within a certain time frame.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And that time frame leads us right into the second piece, doesn't it?
It does. The expiration date.
Ah, the deadline. Every contract has one. Super important. It tells you exactly when this agreement, just runs out of time. Poof.
Right. And after that date, typically any value tied purely to time disappears. What we call extrinsic value.
Like a limited time offer, basically, it expires.
That's a good way to put it. We'll dig into extrinsic value more later, but yeah, time is a huge factor. And as that expiration date gets closer, that time value usually shrinks.
Okay, so how do you spot this date on the platform, I mean?
You'll often see it written something like AUG16 or maybe AUG17.
Meaning August 2016 or 2017 in that case. Pretty clear.
Yeah, usually month and year. Now, different brokers, the trading platforms you use, they might display it slightly differently, a little bit.
Sure, minor variations.
Yeah.
But the core info month, year, it'll be there.
It has to be.
So, okay. We know what the agreement is about the underlying stock, and we know when it's good until the expiration date. What's next? The third piece.
That would be the strike price.
The strike price. Okay, so this is the price, the actually transaction price, right? If you decide to buy or sell the stock using the option.
Exactly. It's the pre-agreed price. The price at which you have the right to buy or the right to sell that underlying stock in the future. Depends if it's a call or a put, which we'll get to.
And here's something that trips people up sometimes, I think. This strike price, it's not always the current price of the stock, right?
Oh, absolutely not. That's a key distinction. Let's say XYZ stock is trading right now at $50 a share. You could easily find an option contract for XYZ with a strike price of, say, $70.
$70, even though it's trading at 50 now.
Right. Why someone might want that contract is a whole other discussion about strategy. But for now, just understand the strike price is that fixed, predetermined number in the contract.
Okay. So it's like locking in a potential price for the future. Even if the stock's at $50 today, this contract might give you the right to buy it at $70 later.
Or maybe sell it at $40, depending on the contract.
Right. It's like you said, striking a deal at that specific price point.
That's a perfect analogy.
Cool. So what, when, at what price, what's the fourth thing?
The fourth component tells you what kind of right you have.
Yeah.
And that's the option type.
Ah, okay. This one seems simpler. There are basically just 2 main flavors, right?
That's it. You've got call options and you've got put options.
Calls and put?
A call option gives the buyer the right, remember, not the obligation, it's a choice to buy the underlying stock at that strike price anytime before it expires.
The right to buy. Got it. And puts?
Puts are the opposite. A put option gives the buyer the right, again, it's their choice, to sell the underlying stock at the strike price before expiration.
Right, to sell. Okay, buy or sell, calls or puts.
And you'll usually see them laid out pretty clearly on your trading screen.
Yeah, often calls are on one side of the list, the option chain they call it, and puts are on the other side for the same stock and expiration.
Exactly. So just knowing if you're looking at a C for call or a P for put is fundamental. It tells you the direction of the potential trade.
Makes sense. Okay, one piece left, number 5.
The fifth and final core component is the premium.
The premium. Okay, this is the money part. This is the actual cost of the option contract itself, right?
Precisely. It's the price the buyer pays to the seller to get that right. The right to buy with a call or the right to sell with a put.
And you usually see it quoted as like a price per share.
That's right. For instance, you might see a premium quoted as, let's say, $3.10. Now, hang on, because this is where a lot of beginners get tripped up initially.
Ah, the multiplier. Yeah, got to mention that.
You absolutely do. While the platform shows $3.10, almost every standard stock option contract in the U.S. represents 100 shares of the underlying stock. So there's usually a multiplier of 100 involved.
Meaning that $3.10 premium isn't a total cost of $3 and change? No way. You have to multiply that $3.10 by 100.
Which makes the actual cost of that single contract
$310. $310. That's a huge difference.
It's critical to understand. Always multiply by 100 for standard contracts.
So even a small-looking premium, like what if it says $25?
Same principle. 0.25 times 100.
Is $25. So that contract costs you $25.
Exactly. Always remember that multiplier. It dictates the actual cash changing hands when you buy or sell the option itself.
Okay, Rio. Let's quickly recap those 5 then. We had
1. The underlying stock. What asset is it tied to?
2. The expiration date. When does the contract end?
3. The strike price. The agreed upon price for the potential stock transaction.
4. The option type. Is it a call, the right to buy, or a put, the right to sell?
And 5. The premium. The price of the contract, quoted per share, but almost always multiplied by 100 for the total cost or credit.
Those are the big 5, the absolute core of every single options contract. Get comfortable with these, really understand them, and you've built that solid foundation we talked about.
Absolutely. It seems basic, maybe, but this knowledge is the bedrock. It's the language of options. Once you've got this down, then you can start to understand how strategies work, how people try to profit, how these pieces interact in the real market.
Right. So now that you've seen these 5 core components laid out, what's the first question that pops into your head? Like, how do these pieces actually work together in a real trade? Because really getting how they connect, that's the only way you'll truly own your trades and feel confident.
A good question to ask yourself.
Definitely. And hey, if you want to keep digging, head over to advancedautotrades.com. We've got more stuff there for you to unpack.
Keep building on this foundation.
Yeah, remember, getting these basics right is step 1. It's absolutely essential for anyone starting out in options. It's what lets you make sense of everything else down the road. So keep that curiosity going.
If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay ahead with fresh insights every other day, don't forget to hit that subscribe button or follow our podcast. We've got more exciting content coming your way, and we can't wait to have you back. See you soon.